AITA for refusing to sign off on 4 volunteer hours for a teen who was only there for less than an hour. We had a community cleanup in our neighborhood on last Saturday near the park. Nothing major, just picking up trash act. I was helping there out as a volunteer. A lot of teens came to earn volunteer hours for school. Rule is simple. You show up, sign in, do the work, and at the end I sign a sheet with actual time. One guy showed up with his mom around 9:15. Clean started at 9. He signed in, grabbed gloves and a trash bag, took a couple of photos by the supplies table, and headed toward the trail. About 20 minutes later, I noticed he wasn't in any of the groups. I didn't go looking for him, BC. I'm not a babysitter, just thought maybe he was with another team. But all the groups were handing in their bags to me and I didn't see him again. Around 12:30, when we were already wrapping up, he showed up again with an iced coffee in his hand. His mom came up to me with a school form and asked me to sign for 4 hours. I told her I couldn't. According to what I saw, he was there for less than an hour. I agreed to sign for 45 minutes or 1 hour maximum, but not 4. She immediately got tense and said he was around and helping somewhere further down the trail. I said that if one of the team leads confirmed it, I'd sign for more, but I couldn't do it without that. She lowered her voice and said he needed those hours for a school requirement, otherwise he'd be in trouble. I said it felt strange to me to sign for something that didn't happen. Guy stood there silently, didn't say anything, and was staring at his phone. After his mom said I was humiliating him in public, though there were almost no people, I replied that I wasn't calling him lazy or anything like that. I just wouldn't sign for 4 hours if he hadn't actually worked them. I ended up sighing 1 hour and seeing him and his mom angrily leaving the park. Now I'm not sure about my decision and even feel myself a bit cruel, but it seems to me that volunteer hours will lose their meaning if all would show up, take a picture, and ask parents to ask others to sign the paper. AITA. AITA for not wanting my husband to leave me alone with our newborn for an entire weekend to take his mother sightseeing. I am currently pregnant with our first child, a baby girl. My husband and I got married recently. He is originally from another country and moved here for work, which is where we met. He hasn't seen his family in over a year, and I completely understand how much he misses them. The issue started when he said he wanted to pay for his mother to come visit after our daughter is born. I wasn't comfortable having visitors during the first month postpartum. From what I've learned and from talking to women who have already given birth, those first weeks can be physically and emotionally difficult. I'll be recovering from childbirth, dealing with postpartum bleeding, adjusting to life with a newborn, and hopefully establishing breastfeeding. I've never met his mother in person, only spoken to her on the phone. To be fair, I made the same rule for my own family. No visits during the first month unless specifically arranged. I suggested that his mother come about a month after the birth and stay as long as she wanted. After some disagreement, he eventually agreed. I also told him I was completely fine with him showing his mother around the country while she was here. I only asked that he let me know in advance so that if I needed help, I could arrange for my mother or sister to come over. The conflict escalated when he told me he wanted to spend an entire weekend in a city about 8 hours away by car. For context, I've never even visited that city myself despite being born and raised here. I told him I wasn't comfortable being left alone with a newborn for an entire weekend while he was that far away. I suggested plenty of alternative destinations and activities closer to home. We live in a country with countless cultural and historical attractions, so it's not like there aren't other options. He said he really wants to visit that city and believes his mother would enjoy it. I suggested that she could always come back in the future and we could make it a family trip when our daughter is older, but he didn't like that idea either. I eventually told him that, in my view, the main purpose of this visit is for his mother to meet her granddaughter. I have no issue with them doing tourist activities, but I don't think it's reasonable for him to leave me alone with a newborn for an entire weekend so soon after giving birth. I also told him that paternity leave is meant for helping care for your child and supporting your recovering partner, not for taking vacations. If he feels comfortable leaving us for an entire weekend during those first months, I don't understand why he would need 3 months of paternity leave. My husband thinks I'm being overly emotional because of pregnancy hormones and making a bigger issue out of this than necessary. My best friend is absolutely packing and I can't stop thinking about it. Insane title. It doesn't get better from there. I just need to talk about it to someone, anyone. A girl, have a best friend, a dude, truly platonic, we're just bros, it's never been like that. A week ago, I was at his place and at one point I walked in on him getting changed in his room. He was mostly naked, with his whole thing out, and I truly just froze and stared. 'Cause WTF. Couldn't have been more than 2 seconds, but that was enough for my brain to carve the image into my brain forever. Obviously, I got the fuck out of there, and we had a good laugh about it, like, haha, who cares, shit happens. I pretended to be totally unfazed, but if I'm being honest, it's been haunting me. I keep picturing his genuinely impressive dick, and if I then try to not think about it, it gets worse. I think it's ADHD brain just not letting me move on or empty my mind at all, and at this point, I'm not sure I'm able to ever forget it. Honestly, it's making me feel weird as fuck around him because his dick keeps flashing in my head whenever I look at him. But like, he literally did nothing wrong. I'm the obsessed weirdo. I'm a bit worried about this messing with the friendship. Half joking. TIFU just accidentally sent my boss a 3 a.m. voice note ranting about how much I hate my job. He replied, same. Hey Reddit, I need to share this before I spontaneously combust from secondhand embarrassment. Last night I was up at 3 a.m. after the worst work week ever. Endless deadlines, my micromanaging boss breathing down my neck, and those soul-crushing 2-hour meetings that could have been emails. I was stress eating a whole pint of ice cream in my pajamas when I decided to vent to my best friend. I recorded a full 47-second voice note absolutely roasting everything. My stupid cubicle, the fake corporate jargon, how my boss always takes credit for my work, and how I'm one bad day away from quitting. I went OFF. Except my fat fingers betrayed me, and I sent it straight to my boss instead of my friend. This morning I woke up to his reply at 6:47 a.m., just same, no explanation, no follow-up, nothing. Now I'm sitting at my desk pretending to work while internally dying. Do I bring it up in our one-on-one, laugh it off, update my resume and start applying elsewhere, or just change my name and move to another country? TLDR. What's the most unhinged thing you've ever accidentally sent to the wrong person? I need to know I'm not alone in this chaos. Throwing the last shreds of my dignity to the Reddit wolves for your entertainment. AITA for not wanting my mother-in-law and disabled brother-in-law to stay with us for 3 months every summer. My Mill lives in another country and is planning to stay with us for about 3 months this summer. My Bill, 10 years older, who's been a wheelchair user since an accident 10 years ago, is also coming. I want to be clear that I don't dislike my Bill because of his disability. We just don't have much in common and have never really bonded. He stopped working as well after his accident. I actually get along well with my Mill. The issue is that our house is not wheelchair accessible. Since my Bill can't easily get upstairs, we have to turn our main living room into his bedroom for the entire visit. That means losing our primary shared space for 3 months. No movie nights in the living room, no relaxing on the couch after work, and generally having much less privacy. We also don't have a downstairs shower, so whenever he visits, we have to make alternative arrangements so he can shower somewhere accessible. The last time they stayed, I found it exhausting. The house felt crowded and messy, and I really missed having my own space and routine. I haven't lived with extended family in a long time, and I've realized how much I value having a quiet home. What makes this more complicated is that before my wife and I bought our house, she and her brother weren't particularly close. Because of that, we never expected him to visit for extended periods. Now it seems the expectation is that both my Mill and BIL will come every summer for around 3 months so they can spend time with my wife and escape the extreme heat where they live. I understand why they want to come. My Mile is getting older, and my BIL's disability limits his options. But if this becomes a yearly tradition, that's a quarter of every year where we lose a significant amount of privacy and use of our own home. I haven't told them not to come. I've only told my wife that I'm uncomfortable with the length of the stay and the idea of this becoming an annual expectation. My wife thinks I'm focusing too much on the inconvenience. I think it's reasonable to want boundaries, even with family. AITA?